Yo, what is up, guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button, hit like, all of that good stuff. So, Billy Joe Saunders has come out today and withdrew from a potential Canelo Alvarez fight. He has withdrawn from the Canelo sweepstakes, and he's basically given these reasons. First and foremost, he cited a lack of time to train for a potential fight with Canelo. Bear in mind, if this fight did take place, I think it would take place like 12th of September. So what's that, 10 weeks away? 10 weeks apparently is not enough time to train. And also, he was mentioning that he would have to take a pay cut to fight Canelo in September. Bear in mind, even with a pay cut, I'm sure this would be Billy Joe Saunders' highest career payday by far, right? And given the circumstances in which we're going through right now, a global pandemic with the economy going down the drain, I think a pay cut is, it's to be expected, right? It's to be expected. He's moaning that Canelo isn't going to have to take a pay cut. Well, Canelo is the franchise player. He's got the richest contract in sports history. He's the A-side here. I hate bringing that term up, but it's apparently obvious in this case. Now, from what I see online, Billy Joe Saunders wants a warm-up fight in October, ahead of a big fight in December. Yet another warm-up fight for Billy Joe Saunders. His last fight, last October, against the Argentinian gentleman, was also a warm-up. Warm-up after warm-up. What is this guy doing? What is Billy Joe Saunders providing for boxing fans right now? Sweet FA, fuck all, that's what. I'm sick and tired of having to say, well, Billy Joe Saunders has talent. If he applied himself, he could be a great fighter. He could achieve so much more. I'm sick of saying that now. As a fighter, there's only so long you can dine out on that. Eventually, you have to prove it. Billy Joe Saunders has not proved it. Again, we're consumers. We are the paying customer. What has Billy Joe Saunders done for us lately? What great fights has he given us? Let's have a look at his resume quickly. Well, I don't need to. I can tell you his resume. In the last 4 years, so from 2016, he's given me as a consumer one fight I care about. One fight I was genuinely excited about. That was the David Lemieux fight. I personally liked that fight. Lemieux at the time was a top contender. He was fighting away from home. Good fight. I was invested. That's the only fight Billy Joe Saunders has given me as a boxing fan in recent times that I care about. Bear in mind, like I said, this is in a 4-year time period. He's given us one fight worthwhile. One fight in 4 years. You can only dine out on talent, ability, potential for so long. And I think Billy Joe's been dining out on that for quite some time now, and far too long. I'm getting tired of waiting. I'm tired of waiting. I know Billy Joe has a lot of fans, and some of them are subscribed to my channel, but forget your fandom of Billy Joe Saunders for a minute. Look back as a boxing fan. What's he giving you guys? Warm-up fights against unknown Argentinians? 8-rounders against Charles Adamu? Bogus vacant title fights against the likes of Shifa Isafi, aka Bossman, aka the kebab shop owner? This is what he's giving us. Not good enough as a product. It's not good enough. Does Billy Joe have talent? Yes. Does he have potential? Yes. Does he have potential to achieve a lot more? Yes. But I'm sick of saying that now. I'm sick of saying that. You need to take your opportunities. You need to strike while the iron is hot. Canelo Alvarez arguably is pound for pound number one in the sport. By a lot of publications he is listed as pound for pound number one. He's the franchise player. It's a massive opportunity. Still a career high payday. You've still got 10-11 weeks to train. You should have been keeping in shape during lockdown, ticking over, hitting the bag, running, cycling, swimming, whatever it may be. Should have been ticking over. He knew a Canelo fight was potentially there. Before the lockdown, that was going to happen. He should have been training in the event that fight was still on. But no. I'm sure Billy Joe Saunders has got fat as a pig, doing God knows what. Not a professional. He's not about this life. Obvious. Crying that he's thinking about retirement because Daniel Kinahan is no longer involved in boxing. If you feel that way, fuck off, because as a boxing fan, I'm not losing anything. All you've given me in the last 4 years is David Lemieux. Yeah, Billy Joe's got a couple of other good wins before that, Ryder, Eubank, Andy Lee, but that's a long time ago. What have you done for me lately? Fuck all. Straight up. I'm sick and tired of mollycoddling these fighters, man, thinking warm-up after warm-up is acceptable. It's a joke. It's a joke. A lot of these fighters out here, post-coronavirus or during this pandemic, they're really, really winding me up. We've got the likes of Ryan Garcia out here, essentially turning down fights because he was only offered 200k in his words. Well, that fight would have been a warm-up against a D-level fighter. And he's turning down these level fights when he's getting paid 200k. Embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. We've got Filip Hrgović out here saying, well, I don't want to return to boxing until there's fans. What are you talking about, Filip? You've got no fans. You've got no fans. Nobody buys your tickets. Can we just be real? Recently, Hrgović has been fighting in the US, and which US fans go out there and say, do you know what? Filip Hrgović is fighting. I'm going to buy tickets to see him. Nobody. Filip Hrgović is a young prospect. He should be fighting, staying active, trying to get ranked. That's what Filip Hrgović should be doing. Even if you can't get the best guys right now, stay active. Don't fuck around and waste your career. Sit on the sidelines. Stagnate. Don't do that. Just stay active. Talking about he doesn't want to fight until fans are back. Jesus Christ, man. What's wrong with boxing these days? Billy Joe Saunders has the keys to the castle in a Canelo fight. If he won that fight, he becomes immortalised. He becomes a pound-for-pound level fighter. And I'm sure he would get a rematch with Canelo in which he would be financially rewarded even better in the rematch. Massive opportunity. But apparently he doesn't have enough time to train. He doesn't want to take a pay cut. Fuck me. Listen, man. It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. People out there are making excuses for these guys. I don't care whether I like you or not. And I like Filip Hrgović, by the way. But if you're not giving me good fights, you're not giving me good fights. It's that simple. I think right now Eddie Hearn realises how hard it is to promote someone like Billy Joe Saunders. A lot of people out there, you know, when Billy Joe signed with Matchroom, they were saying Eddie Hearn was going to turn around his career. I never really saw it. I think there is a reason Frank Warren was, I wouldn't say happy, but he wasn't devastated that Billy Joe Saunders left. He was extremely hard to manage, extremely unreliable, a liability in many senses, certainly a PR liability. I don't think Frank was all that upset, to be honest. I really don't. Listen, man, DAZN have all of these middleweights and super middleweights. They've got Billy Joe Saunders, Canelo Alvarez, Gennady Golovkin, Daniel Jacobs, Johnny Ryder, Demetrius Andrade. They've got Callum Smith, and we're seeing none of these fights. None of these fights at all. Why is that? Why is that? None of these fights at all. Why are these not happening? Even before the lockdown, apart from Billy Joe Canelo, none of these fights were close to getting made. They have a great pool of talent at 160 to 168. None of these fights are coming off, man. It's a joke. It really is a joke. And Billy Joe Saunders, man, listen, as talented as he is, as much skills as he's got, I think the guy should just retire, to be honest. He's clearly not about it. He clearly isn't here to cement a legacy or build a great resume or anything like that. He's not here for those reasons, man. Seems to be a guy who's lacking motivation, doesn't have discipline, and quite frankly, I'm just done with Billy Joe Saunders. You know, I don't really expect anything from Billy Joe now. If he turns around and surprises me, I'll be the first to admit I'm wrong and I'll give him his credit, but I'm really not expecting that, to be honest. I think this guy's career is coming towards an end, and I expect him to go out with a whimper, to be honest. I think Billy Joe Saunders could be declining right now due to years of bad living, constantly putting on weight and losing weight, etc. I think we may have seen the best of Billy Joe Saunders. And yeah, man, I just find it really hard to get invested in Billy Joe right now. Unfortunately, when the guy turned pro, I was super excited about Billy Joe. I thought the guy was a great talent. I keep on saying that. But you can only live off talent for so long. I always say this, boxing fans need to take a step back, stop being so much of a fanboy for certain fighters, and look at boxing from a consumer point of view. What are we getting? What are we getting from certain fighters, certain promotional companies, certain networks? Is it good enough? Could it be better? With Billy Joe Saunders, I think the answer is obvious. If you're satisfied with what Billy Joe Saunders has been providing for the last 4 years, then you must be easily pleased. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, had enough of this. Share your thoughts below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Are you in between? I'm intrigued to hear your thoughts. Peace.